What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is a monthly recap video. I'm going to be going over the status of all of my accounts. That includes evals and funded accounts. So I'm going to be going over that in the video. I'm not doing a weekly recap video of this last trading week just because I didn't trade a whole lot. I'm in tech right now for my show, and so waking up, like going to bed at like 1 a.m. and then waking up at 6 a.m. to trade, I stayed flat for most of last week because of that, but I did take 2 trades, and I'm going to share those 2 trades with you, and then I'm going to just go into the status of all of my accounts and kind of how I did in June, and then things that I'm thinking about moving forward into July. So I hope that you will watch to the end of this video, and that is helpful for you guys. So this first trade that I took was on Monday. And again, I took this trade in all of my funded accounts and my eval accounts. I copy trade them all. And so I took a short on Monday. So I marked out both of these pivots here. This is the 6:30 a.m. New York market open candle. I'm on the 2-minute chart. This is on ES. Technically, this is MES, the micro version. And so I marked out this pivot here, and this is the pivot that I traded off of. So I marked out this pivot. I waited for it to break above, and then I waited for it to come back below and close below this blue line, which is the New York VWAP. So once it closed, I entered looking for a short. I was targeting this previous low of day, and my stop loss was above this structure here, and that is a clear invalidation point. So if price had broken above that, I'm no longer looking for a short. So that's why I love when my stop losses are at invalidation points. And so you can see, again, this was a 1.1R, pretty solid trade here. This is what, 2, 4, 6, 8, like 10 minutes, and I was done for the day. And again, it did run a little bit longer, but again, you don't need to catch the whole move. And if you get in that habit of trying to catch every single, move and every single part and really squeeze it out, it's like it's gonna play against you sometimes. Like there is a lot of times where this will come to the low of day and then bounce right back off. So you don't need to catch the whole move. I'm never gonna take less than a 1R though, right? Like if I'm risking $200, that means I'm making at least $200, right? Like I'm not gonna risk $200 to make like $50. I'm not doing that. So yeah, so this was a pretty solid trade on Monday, and let's go to the next trade, which I actually traded in the Asia session. I don't typically trade in the Asia session, but low-key when I do, I end up doing pretty well. I actually looked back, and like there was only like one Asia session trade that I took in the last few months that I lost, but I don't trade them that often. And I think because of the fact that I was flat most of last week, it allowed me to be like, okay, if I see something in Asia that I like, I'm going to take it. And I did. And I took this trade. So this is Pacific Standard Time. I am in LA. So I marked this level right here. This is the third candle right after 3 p.m. I marked the low of it. And this kind of, like, you can't see the structure here before, but it was a really big pullback, like a massive pullback. And it kind of looked like we were going to be kind of going back to where we were during this is Thursday. This is Thursday night. So Thursday morning, we were like way above. We were like around 30K. So like as you can see, we're like 29.5 here. But anyways, so I was looking for longs already. So I marked out this pivot right here. I was waiting for it to break below, which it did. And it closed above this purple line, which is the VWAP anchored to this open. So I entered here. My stop loss was at below this pivot rate, or not pivot. I mean, this is kind of a pivot, low key, but my stop loss was right here, and you can see actually I was in drawdown for most of this trade. I thought I was gonna lose this. I was pretty convinced that this was gonna be a losing trade. But again, what I like to do is I like to set alerts. So I wasn't really watching the trade, right? So I entered here. I set an alert at this stop loss here, and I set an alert at this blue VWAP here. This was my original target. And so then I just kind of let the trade play out, and if I get an alert, that means I'm either stopped out or I might take profit. And if I don't get an alert, I'll check it every like 30 minutes just to see where it's at. But as you can see, I was in drawdown for most of the trade, and then eventually it did pop up, and I got out somewhere over here. I didn't hold to the blue line, but that's okay. I got a 1.4R, and again, this thing just low-key, it just, not low-key, high-key, it just kept running. But it ran without me, but that's okay. Excuse me. I caught most of the move, and that's all I can ask for. So those are the two trades, and also I started July off with a win, which is really nice. And so, yeah, it was kind of nice to be flat this past week, and just like, it's okay to be flat, like for real. Like you want to do your best to protect your capital, and I very well could have traded and woke up like no sleep to trade, but like for me, I just didn't want to do that. Like I have a lot going on other than trading in my life, and these are things that I need to be rested for. I need to be like, have good sleep for. So I was prioritizing that over my trading, and trading is a long game, so you don't need to trade every single day, and it's kind of nice to take a break too. And I'm really excited for this week. I'm really gonna I'm definitely gonna trade every day this week. Try to, but again, if I wake up and I'm not feeling it, I'll just go back to bed. And that's better. Like, protecting your capital is the key, right? And protecting your accounts. And sometimes that means just not taking trades, and that's okay. All right, let's jump into my trade of 8. So right now I have 4 funded accounts. 3 of them are with Apex. You can see this PA means it's a funded account. This is one, PA04, PA12, PA11. These are my 3 Apex funded accounts, okay? And everything else that you see, all these other Apex accounts, are evals. So I got 5, 6, 7, 8 evals right now that I'm working on. And I'm just kind of mostly, like, some of these are really close to passing. This is $620 off from passing. This is $800 away from passing. $1,300. So these 3 right here are actually pretty close to passing, and I'm just copying them alongside my funded accounts, right? So these accounts I've been copy trading together for some time. These other ones I bought recently, they had like a 4th of July sale special, so I bought these 5 accounts, and you can see this account here, this eval. I like to sometimes I like to just like try to pass these evals in one trade, because you can do that. And so I'll risk, like I'll trade like 6 minis, 6 minis on ES, trying to go for 10 points, and that's passing. So, but all of these accounts have an end of day drawdown, and they have a max daily drawdown of $1,000, right? So I basically get 2 cracks at trying to pass it in one go. But now that this is at only $800 worth of until I blow it, I'm probably just gonna low-key YOLO this one to try to get it back to around 50K, and then I'll evaluate from there. And these 4, I bought them, but they're just kind of chilling right now. I haven't traded them at all. But you know what? That reminds me. I'm actually so glad I'm going over this, because Apex, they have a new rule now. You have to pass the eval in 30 days or it's blown already. And low-key, I need to look at these, because I've been trading these for some time. And I might actually be, you know what? I'm going to check real quick. Let me just check this really quick, because I do not want that to happen. Because that would suck if I'm like $800 away from passing these things, and then all of a sudden I lose them because I didn't pass them in time. Wow, I can't believe I actually low-key, this has slipped me. But I haven't been trading them for that long, so I feel like I'm gonna be okay. But let me go in here and see really quick. Active evals. Let's see. Let's see if it tells me. Expires on. Okay, right here. They all expire on July 10th. So I gotta pass these this week. I gotta pass them or blow them this week. That's Friday. So you know what? That's actually great. So these 3 accounts, these 3 that are close to passing, these ones, like if I don't pass them if they're still alive, but I don't pass them by the 10th, they just automatically get blown. So I'm either gonna have 3 more past evals or 3 blown accounts, or maybe 1 and 2 or 2 and 1 or whatever, right? But again, like having that deadline now, like it automatically is like puts a little pressure on me. But you know what? I'm gonna just do what I've been doing, continue on the path, and then like let's say it's Thursday and maybe they're like about where they're at now. All right, Friday morning or like Thursday morning, I'm gonna have to really try to maybe over leverage a little bit just to try to pass them. But again, I don't want that. I still have 5 solid trading days before that expiration, so I'm not gonna let it affect me too much. And that's how they get you, right? They kind of get in your mind a little bit with that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna keep on doing what I'm doing that got these accounts here in the first place, right? And you can also see, I also want to talk a little bit about building a buffer in an account. So this, my main account, this 4 here, you can see I am $3,200 away from drawdown. So once you get to a certain threshold, the 50K accounts, they lock, like the drawdown locks at $50,100. Yeah, you can see it right here, $50,100. So anything above that, I can withdraw, basically. But for me, I always want to have a little bit of a cushion, so I have made it a rule that anything above 53K, I take out. So right now, if I wanted to, and I actually am eligible, I could take out this $300, right? $304, and I could request a payout. But because Apex, the eval, like, not the evals, because it takes kind of a long time in between payouts, like you need 8 trading days in between, I'm going to wait until it's at least like $500 or ideally like $1,000. So, but yeah, anything above 53 I like to take out, and then that gives me a pretty big cushion to deal with. And you can see my other 2 funded accounts are at 57 and then 56. So, slowly kind of building these ones up. And what's funny is that, when I was on my losing streak 2 weeks ago, these were like $1,000 less than they are now, right? But again, you can see I've done pretty well building them back up, which is nice. It just kind of goes to show like how important daily loss limits are, and just in terms of managing your risk, right? If you have a decent, if you have a small like daily loss limit, right, which mine's $200 in each account, like I would need to lose 10 days in a row to blow these accounts, and that hasn't happened for me yet. It's me knocking on the wood. Okay, so let's jump into... Oh, I'll go in my top. So I also have one top 1 account. This is an instant funded account. This is a 50K account, and I'm at 49.1. So I'm like 1K in drawdown in this account. I actually was close to blowing this one, but I actually kind of saved it a little bit. So I definitely am still in drawdown, about $800, but again, just kind of slowly, because my copier, my trade copier, only allows me to copy trade Apex accounts. I have been kind of trading this one separately and more solo, and just kind of like other plays that I see, I'll try things out. So this is almost feels like a test account, low key. But I really do want to get either TradeSync or another copy trader, so that I'm able to copy across prop firms, so that I could just like copy this one along with all the accounts that I'm trading. But I'm not doing that right now because my copier only, so I'm trading all these accounts basically at the same time. But okay, so let's go into June. So June low key was like, this was a tough month for me, trading wise. But guess what? I didn't blow one single funded account this month, and that's because I prioritize risk. And that has been the game changer, just keeping my accounts alive. These are all 4 of my funded accounts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see I netted a loss of $650. So basically break even. I had some, 2K loss week, 2K green week, 1.5K red week. So a lot of big losses in here. This big loss here was because that top 1 account that I showed you, that I almost blew. I basically was in a trade and I didn't even realize I was in a trade, so that's why that number's so big. But yeah, you can see, like, you know, even with these 4 losing days in a row, right? Like I really did keep my accounts alive, and yeah, and I don't know, it just kind of is like, trading is not a get rich quick thing. It's just not. It's a slow grind. You can see I did like in May I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red days versus June 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 red days. Just quite a lot. April, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red days. March I kind of took off. But yeah, so like, it's a grind, man. It's a grind. July I've had 1. I only traded again. I traded Monday last week. I actually did trade. I didn't show you the Tuesday trade because again that was in my top 1 account, and that was like a not. It was kind of a random trade, but it wasn't like my original setup, so I didn't want to show that. It was a trade on YM, and again it was just a small little win. But yeah, man, this is TradeZella. TradeZella is super great for tracking things and keeping, just kind of keeping everything in one place, and you can kind of like, it'll show you your, you know, your day win rate, your trade win rate, your profit factor, your average win, like average RR multiple here. I think it's super helpful because it like kind of recognizes patterns too. It's like, oh, you don't do well trading after, you know, 9 a.m. So maybe just, you know, you lose 70% of the trades you take after 9 a.m. I'm like, okay, so I just won't trade after 9 a.m., right? So TradeZella is definitely a great tool. I'll link my my link if you wanna get it, if you wanna get in on the TradeZella action. But yeah, man, I think, you know, my goal, I'll talk about a little bit about like what my goal and what my plan is my original goal was to be copy trading 5 funded accounts by the end of the summer, which is in 2 months. And as you can see here, I already have 3 accounts that I'm copying, 3 funded accounts, and a couple more potentially on the way, right? So I feel like I'm bumping that 5 accounts up to 10, and that's kind of why I wanted to buy some more evals so that I can just kind of copy these all together. And, you know, that way it's like, you know, if I take a trade and I make like $300 in the trade, that's not like a ton of money, right? Like, it's a decent amount, right, in a funded account, but like that 300 times, if I'm trading 10 accounts, that $300 win goes to a $3,000 win, right, in like 10, 15, 20 minutes. So my goal is to copy trade accounts and grow that way, as opposed to like, you know, funding my own personal account with like my own personal capital and like putting on more size. Like, for me, like, this is the best way. And again, like, all these accounts, you know, I've already paid for essentially. So my risk, like, these are like basically risk-free accounts. Other than the Apex evals, like when I pass them, I will have to pay more. I'll have to pay to activate them. But again, like, you know, I think it's nice being able to trade, like being able to still kind of take payouts every now and then too, to put right back into these accounts, right? So I haven't taken a payout in a bit. I could take a payout right now if I wanted to, but again, I kind of want to. I don't want to take a $300 payout. I want to take at least like $1,000 payout, I feel. So I'm gonna wait this week. If I can, you know, if I can make $700 this week, that's kind of my goal. I would pass like these 2 evals hopefully, and then, you know, take a 1K payout, and then, you know, these 2 accounts getting a little up, just kind of slowly grinding, slowly building. And that's what trading is all about, man. It's about managing your risk and slowly building and continuing to show up. I feel like I rambled, but that's okay. That is all I have for the video, guys. Look forward to more weekly recaps. I'm going to do them throughout the month, and I'm also going to probably intersperse other videos, trading related, obviously, throughout the month. But feel free to like and subscribe, help support the channel. Appreciate that, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.